We're going to talk about building fast, scaling smart, what it actually takes to go from simple idea to 8 million in ARR without raising a single dollar. And recently, like 2-3 weeks back, it's 8 million, all bootstrapped, and that's just crazy.
I was booked from like 8 to 7, like 2 weeks in a row. There's no shortcuts, there's no hacks. It's just pure work.
Nobody cares about you when you launch. The one thing you do have is speed. I'm kind of represent Alia. That's something that AI can't replace, is me as a person. Your life is like a blink. Do what you want. You only have one chance to do it.
Real stories, real metrics, real lessons. Let's jump in. Hey everyone, and welcome to the SaaS podcast. And this is the Shopify App Founders Edition, Season 1. I'm your host, Yuvraj Kevte, founder of the SaaShub.com, an independent platform curating the top 10 Shopify apps in every category, helping merchants, agencies, and founders discover the very best tools to grow their business. On the show, we go behind the scenes with people building the tool that powers Shopify. Real stories, real metrics, real lessons. Today's guest has one of the wildest growth stories in the ecosystem. I'm joined by Shaan Arora, founder of Alia, the email and SMS pop-up app on the Shopify App Store, a product that's quietly grown into a 8 million ARR bootstrapped success story. Shaan and his team have built one of the most used engagement platforms for Shopify merchants, helping them convert visitors, grow email and SMS list, and turn intent into actionable revenue. We are going to talk about building fast, scaling smart, what it actually takes to go from simple idea to 8 million in ARR without raising a single dollar. Let's jump in. Hey Shaan, man, really good to have you here today. And you have been on my radar for a while now. Every few months, you keep dropping your bootstrapped ARR milestone post on LinkedIn. And each month, it just keeps on growing up and getting bigger and bigger. I clearly remember the first one I saw. It was, I think, around 11 or 12 months back for 1 million ARR. Then about 5 months back, it was about 4 million. Then 3 months, it was 5 million. And recently, like 2-3 weeks back, it's 8 million. All bootstrapped. And that's just crazy insane, man.
Thank you. I
Before we
appreciate that.
dive into the numbers and what actually goes behind the scenes, can you tell our listeners what Alia is and what does it actually helps merchants do?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for the introduction. No, super happy to be here. And, what we do, I think, is beautiful because it's so simple, right? We just do pop-ups. So we care a lot about being the absolute best in this domain of pop-ups, right? Every ESP has one. Klaviyo, Postscript, Attentive has their own pop-ups, but none of them are really great. We saw an opportunity in the market to build a great one, and that's what we've chosen to do. Happy to go into why we're better and the features, but at a high level, we care about being miles ahead of the other like pop-up tools that exist, especially those outside ESPs.
No, absolutely, man. I think what Alia is doing right now is very clean, more conversion focus and easy to set up kind of vibes. And I really love that. Let's rewind a bit, right? I would really love to understand what sparked the idea for Alia. Were you actually solving your own pain point at some point, or did you spotted some trend, or did you heard about something, or what merchants were actually missing? Because when pop-up comes to my mind, it's very basic, right? I never thought about a pop-up company going to $8 million in ARR and growing so fast. So what actually changed?
Yeah, for sure. And it's not a very I don't think it's a super heartwarming story, right? But it's the truth is that when I was in college, I wanted to build something, right? I wanted to build something. At the time, I was building something for a club on campus. A finance club on campus. I was part of it. I was building an app for them, right? Cool. I was doing this app and I was like, hey, this could actually be used in the real world. Now, imagine it more like a loyalty program, like a gamified loyalty program instead of a pop-up. But I was like, I think this could be interesting inside of e-commerce. So I was like, maybe you could apply to e-commerce. I had no clue what Shopify was. I had no clue what the App Store was, but I looked up loyalty programs in e-commerce, right? This is like 2022. I looked up competitors to like, what are the loyalty programs in the e-com world? I saw Smile.io for the first time. That's the first time I saw it, right? I saw Smile. It said, find us in the Shopify App Store. I had never heard of it. So I click on it and I'm like, oh, what the hell is this? Like you can it's a marketplace for Shopify brands. And I didn't know anything about that. But I was like, this is it. Like this is how we're going to deploy the idea what we have of a loyalty program, right? So we deployed the idea, grinded, it's just, I think our story is one of pure determination, resilience, and just grind and just like forcing it upon the world, like brute forcing the product and brute forcing our company. And we did that with the loyalty program 6 months into it. So this is 2024 now. So fast forward a couple of years, we built it, we launched 2024 January. It's like, okay, this loyalty program isn't that great, but some people think of our loyalty program as a pop-up. So maybe we should be a pop-up tool. We made a decision in 2024 January to pivot from a loyalty program to a pop-up tool, really went all in. And I'm happy to go into more details there. But from then, we've grown the business tremendously by making that switch from loyalty program to pop-up, because people didn't really know where we were. They're like, are you a loyalty program? Are you a widget? Are you a pop-up? But people liked us as a pop-up. So people like us as a pop-up. Let's just build that.
Got it. And that when you did the pivot, like, did you also change the name, or it was, the same name altogether?
A lot of people like to think that the name is my girlfriend's name or something like this, but it's not. It's not true. It's well, obviously in Hindi or like in Indian culture, like Alia is like a very common name. But
right,
I like companies that have names in Latin, and I like companies where the name has nothing to do with the product. Like, I just think it's cool, so that's why I came up with the name.
nice. But to be very honest, isn't this app your first love? You're scaling so fast
You're right.
with
You're
so
right.
much passion.
My mom always makes the joke. She's like, maybe, like she is your girlfriend or she is your wife because of how much time and dedication you've given to it.
Yeah, I think the best thing that really worked out for you guys, based on whatever post I've seen, based on whatever research I've done, is the sheer execution that you guys have done. Like the way you said, like brute forces yourself into the ecosystem. You kind of didn't try to reinvent the wheel around pop-up. You kind of just made them faster, cleaner, and more conversion focused and optimized, right?
Yeah, that's true. Like, I think we do have a lot of unique features that like are hard to replicate and hard to build. But in the beginning, it was like, okay, like clearly everyone uses one. Clearly every single brand in the world uses a pop-up, and there's no stopping for us because the largest brands in e-commerce, think about like Gymshark, Target, Home Depot, Best Buy, they all use a pop-up too, right? And like, why should they use a bad pop-up? And we're the solution. So like, when you look at the ecosystem, like literally every single brand uses one, and any objective person can take a look and be like, this could be done much better. And then we just chose to do it better, focus on execution, focused on making our product much better than anything else, and then just won the market.
Got it. And then when you were actually trying to do the pivot, like what moment actually made you 100% sure, like, okay, now we have achieved the product market fit for this app? Because I think it's very rare to find the product market fit today in Shopify.
I agree. I think product market fit is when you have people are asking for it more than you can supply it. So that means like there's not enough time on my calendar for demos anymore. There's not enough time for anyone on my team to build the pop-ups. Like, I think like when you're just completely overrun is when you find product market fit. And that was when I knew. Like, it was like, all right, I am booked from, I used to take every demo call. So I was booked from like 8 to 7, like 2 weeks in a row, man. Like, it's like, all right, maybe we found it now. And both my co-founders are just completely overrun with the amount of work they need to do. It's like, okay, I think this might be product market fit.
Nice. I saw one of your recent posts about hiring an SDR and going beyond the regular booking threshold. Did you guys ended up hiring one?
We're still looking for one. I think we like to be pretty slow with our hiring process, pretty cautious. Like I'd much rather take a month to find a good hire than take 2 weeks, but it be the wrong one, and then we now need to make a decision to let them go or something like this. Which, who wants to do that? So yeah, we're still looking for one. We have a few folks we're interviewing.
Got it. I think Alia's case is more of a blue whale kind of a case. Every decade or every couple of years, there is this one app that comes out of the blue, blows completely tremendously, grows fast and insane. But I think this sometimes also set up very wrong expectations for new apps that comes into the ecosystem. They see a lot of posts on LinkedIn, founders like you, young founders, 23, 24, 25 years old, getting this tremendous success, doing, millions of dollars in revenue. And they kind of have this expectation that, they will build an app, they will launch it. In the next 30 days, they'll probably get like 100, 200,000 customers or do their $100,000 in ARR or something like that. But I think that often is not the case.
Yeah, almost never.
And when it came to getting your first 100 customers, what was your approach when you actually pivoted from loyalty to pop-up?
Yeah, for sure. And to be clear, right, like it took us, we launched in April 2023. We didn't hit 100K in rev for 10 months, right? So like we were still figuring things out for a while too.
Right.
We had, so my first 2 customers, one was a co-founder's cousin, and the second was a friend of mine from university who I asked to use the app and she begrudgingly agreed to do so. That's the first 2 customers. And then what did I do after that? I went on email and I said, hey, listen, we have 2 customers. We're doing a closed beta, private beta. We're accepting 2 more customers. Do you want to be the third? Do you want to join the private cohort? I did that, right? Got that to like 20, 25 customers. And then you have a little bit of referral effects. So, if you have 25 customers and you can really squeeze out referrals, you can probably get to 30, 35, 40, continue cold email, continue referrals, partnerships, right? Like, I think the first 100 are hard, but if you can make the first 30 to 35 really happy, you're in a great place because they can give you referrals. That's great, right? Let's say you have 35 customers. Like, hey, if you can refer me to your friend, and everyone has friends, bro. Like, everyone has another brand they know. It's guaranteed. When they're bigger, they have a million friends, and they're smaller, they have 1 or 2 friends, but everybody knows someone in the space. So, like, hey, I'll pay you $100, $200 if you can refer me. Like, that's pretty chill. So you do that. Or I'll pay you $200, $300 if you refer me to your agency, whatever agencies you have. Like, can you get me an intro to another brand? Can you get me an intro to another agency? And if they like you and they like your product, and if you can incentivize them through extra money, they'll do it. So when you have a base of 30, 35 that love it and they like you, right? Like, very founder-led. Like, it was like, okay, like, I like Alia, but I also like Shaan because I like him as a person. I want to support him. Then you can get to that 100 by, okay, a couple of referrals here or there, a couple of agency referrals. Now the agencies can then refer you a ton of business too. And then you leverage one of these 2 and you can kind of just keep going. For us, 1 to 100, 1 to 30, so let's say 1 to 40 was cold email. And then 40 to 100 was agencies and partnerships. And then 100, we're now at 3,000, a lot of it through word of mouth and agencies. Pretty much just all word of mouth agencies right now.
Yeah, I think once you have grown to that level where people have started trusting you, that's when agencies also really jumps in and start recommending you. Because right now what is happening, and like I consult with a lot of Shopify apps, they kind of don't want to go the hard route. They don't want to do outreach. They don't want to reach out to customers.
Oh, really? I mean,
they are everyone reaching out to agencies. Oh, this is an app I built. Can you refer us? And agencies are like, why would I refer to your app, right? I have my name to save. I have my relations to preserve. I think that's the wrong way they're going. I think what you guys did is really great. Find your first 20, 30, 40 loyal customers, build a good use case, build a good network, get referrals, and ask them to refer to agencies. And I think that's what really works well today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's no shortcuts, there's no hacks. It's just pure work. That's it. And if you do enough work with enough intensity for a while, you could figure it out.
Now let's talk about scale, right? I mean, I was just saying, like, every year or now there is this blue whale that jumps from nowhere and then just blows up. I saw you at 1 million, then at 4, then at 5, and now at 8. That's just crazy level compounding, and I completely understand. The initial years, no one was paying attention. You made less money, but the compounding actually starts next or the year after that. What was that one moment that really added up to this compounding effect? Like, if you have to name 1 or 2 things which you think, like, you know what, I would like to attribute all of this huge compounding momentum to these 2 things which we really did well, what would be those 2 things?
Yeah, and I'll be honest here because I hope it's helpful for people listening, right? Like, our biggest competitor in the space got bought. So it happened a while back, so I'm happy to talk about it. It's called Amped. If you know about them, they got bought by MailChimp a while back, and they were probably our biggest competitor. When their biggest competitor gets bought, it's good. And it's great, especially if you can execute quickly and you can take their market share. So them getting bought meant that we signed a bunch of big names like this. Like, when they got bought, we signed like Obvi, we signed SoloWave, we signed we signed like some of these larger. We signed like Pila Case in a week after they got bought because we were the next up tool. Stuff like that happens, right? I think if you put enough out into the world, you'll get a little bit back. Which is, you'll get a little bit of luck, your competitor gets acquired, and then you can go from there. So I'd say, and again, we weren't doing crazy well at that time. We had like 200K ARR. So we weren't 200, maybe 200, 300K ARR. So we weren't like huge anyways, but that was a big catalyst for us. Those brands were willing to use us. And when those brands use you, you then have the leverage to go to other large brands like, hey, I have SoloWave. Like, it means that we have some credibility. Now, of course, your product needs to be good, and they need to like it for them to refer other brands or whatever it might be. But like, that was a break we had for sure. And breaks happen all the time, like for Shopify too, right? When MailChimp
or for I think it was Klaviyo. MailChimp kind of like like breaks like that can happen to companies, and it kind of happened to us a bit.
Yeah, I think MailChimp got removed from the Shopify app store, and that's when Klaviyo picked the space up. So let's talk about your team, man. Like, how big is your team? I know you guys started very small, and recently you guys exploded, but yeah, can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, for sure. We're at 24 people now. This time last year we were at 6, so definitely grew a lot in the past year.
How's that working out? I believe most of the team is still remote.
No, I think we have about 10 people here in our New York City office, and then everyone else is remote. So it's like it's a little less than split. No, it's been good. I think like the important thing when running a team and when having a team is like being okay with giving up autonomy, right? Being okay with understanding who you need to be as CEO, right? Like when we first started the company, I needed to be the CEO who phone calls everyone, goes to every event, right? Like takes every call, does everything. Now as a CEO of a 24% company, like I can't do that. Like what am I the best at? And I need to do that one thing or those two things all the time and not do anything else. So it means that I can't be on sales calls. It means I can't be in every meeting. It means that I delegate my work. It means that I can't go to every event. But like that's what's needed for the business, right? Like if I were still involved in everything, we wouldn't grow as a business. So it's understanding where you are as a company, what your strengths are, and removing yourself from things that you don't need to be in.
So I think that's something really interesting that you mentioned, delegation, right? I believe a lot of apps that I've worked with and a lot of apps that I still see, the founders really want to stay in control of all the situations. They would want to have their hands and legs and noses and bodies and every conversations and everything. I feel like sometimes they are a bit scared of losing that grip or losing that control with their team. I don't know why, but I think as a founder, you really can't keep on doing everything beyond a certain point. You have to trust your team. You have to build core competencies and delegate things. And then you just focus on those 2-3 things, like what you're doing right now, being the public figure, appearing on podcast, building that brand, and then let your team, help you scale it to the next level.
100%. Yeah, exactly. And it's hard and it's scary. I'm very lucky. I have 2 co-founders who I trust with my life, honestly. So like it makes things easier for me. I think if you're a solo founder, like Noah Tucker, solo founder, he had a few close people to him on his team that were great. So he's able to delegate there. It's hard to do, but it's the only way to scale. Like also like you don't want to be involved in everything after a certain point. Like I had my fun taking, 20 sales calls a day for a year. I had my fun with that, but I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I want to focus on other stuff,
Absolutely. Now, coming back to the product, you did mention that you guys have certain features which are, quite difficult to duplicate or replicate, with other companies out there. How do you decide on what features to build, and how do you prioritize the overall product roadmap to stay on top of the game?
Yeah, it's a good question, right? Like there's a thing of like merchant usability versus building the newest thing. Okay. And I think like merchant feedback is helpful, right? Merchants will tell you kind of what they want and like you should listen to it. But at the end of the day, like I think you can use your intuitiveness to know what's really going to move the needle for my business. And for us, what we care about is being miles ahead in terms of innovative products, right? So like we built this thing called smart testing, which automatically runs all the A/B tests for our brands. Cool. Nobody else has built that. Now, what other features can we build that nobody else has built, but deliver massive impact? Mm-hmm. So instead of kind of, I think, obsessing over small things maybe in the product and thinking about those 24/7, we're thinking about what are the big launches and big splashes that'll make us so much better than everyone else incrementally and like will actually drive performance. Sometimes we will build product and features not to drive performance, but to make some things incrementally better. Well, like at the end of the day, merchants care about, am I making more money with you? So whatever features will make them more money, they care more about some usability features.
I've actually seen this time again and again. When most of the founders are tech savvy or tech driven, they kind of keep on overbuilding the product and have worked with companies who have like 90, 100 features. But if you actually look at their power users, or most of their customers are literally using 15 to 20% features, which is actually driving the entire product revenue. It's a very thin line between good to have things and must have things. And I think as a bootstrap company, that is where the focus lies in. And I think you guys have done a tremendous well job about it. I also noticed one thing.
I can't take much credit for that. Both my co-founders focus on product much more than I do, so I can't take too much credit for that.
No, absolutely. It's a team effort. End of the day. What I was saying is when you're bootstrapping, I think understanding the difference between good to have and must have things are pretty important. One thing which is more important when it comes to bootstrap is having that discipline and that mindset.
Yeah.
What's your philosophy around building, without the VC money and doing bootstrap? Was it scary at start? And then what do you feel right now?
Yeah, I mean, right now as a bootstrap founder at about across 9 million, like I'm ecstatic.
That's
Bootstrapping is
the
one of
FU money.
yeah, exactly. Bootstrapping is hard in the beginning, but it's worth it in the end if you can do it successfully. Now, like I'm not against VC funding. Like I think like if I were to do a new business at some point, I would take VC money. Like it's just what kind of business do you want to build, right? I think if you want to build like OpenAI, you want to build Facebook, you want to build like these really world-changing companies, you have to raise money. Like it's hard to do without raising money. But I think if you want to build a Shopify app, right? Like if your goal is to become rich through a Shopify app, great goal, by the way. But if that's your goal, you don't need to raise money because the amount of capital investment to build a Shopify app is pretty much zero and you can grow it organically. Whereas there's other businesses where it's much harder to do so without raising capital. So like if your plan is, hey, I want to get rich from the Shopify app, that's awesome, but don't raise money because it's going to slow you down.
Absolutely. And I think with no-code tools out there in the market, now it has become even much more easier for even a non-techie founder to jump in, build a basic app, and then, hire the team as the app scales and as it grows. I think Alia has done, and the way you guys have grown from 0 to 8 million, it's pure calm confidence. It's not about chasing funding rounds. It's just about proven, sustainable and scalable growth. So I think that's definitely a amazing feeling and amazing impact that you guys are building in the ecosystem. What are the lessons you guys have learned throughout your journey? Like quick wins, quick fails. If you would have to start the app altogether again, what would you do differently?
Yeah, it's a good question. For lessons, I'd say find the right team, find the right core team for yourself. Again, I go back to my team a lot because I am extremely lucky to have my team and especially my co-founders. Like I find the right co-founders. At least find co-founders that you like a lot. It'll make everything 20 times easier. That's probably the lesson I've learned the most. Besides that, like move quickly. Nobody cares about you when you launch and still nobody's going to care about you ever, really. So like you move quickly, like you build product with speed and you care about being faster than your competitors. When you have no capital, like we did, when we had no name, when we have no network, the one thing you do have is speed because larger orgs can't move as quick as we did. Right? Like Klaviyo can't move as quick as Alia because Klaviyo is a massive company, but we have the advantage of speed and time, right? The amount of time we can input into the business and the amount of speed at which we can move are hard things to beat if you can do them well. So 1 is team, 2 is speed, and 3 is just being able to put yourself out there and not really care what anyone thinks. And I think like that's both for your product and for your personal brand. Like I think putting a product out there to the world and not being sure if people want it or not is a difficult thing and it's kind of scary, but at the end of the day, like nobody's going to care about the product anyways, so you might as well just launch what you think is right and then iterate. And then for personal branding, like in the world of AI, like the things that are going to be real are going to be people, right? Like it's going to be like, oh, okay, like you can win on personal brand in my opinion. So if you want to win in this game of software, especially SaaS, as it gets easier to build, like one of the moats is going to be people and the person behind it, right? Like I think I'm kind of represent Alia and I'm kind of known as like the pop-up guy, whatever it might be, like, but that's great because then that's something that AI can't replace is me as a person. Maybe one day they will, but I think maybe for a decade or so we'll be okay.
One thing I would love to understand is, I mean, we are already in the new year. What's the direction for Alia for this new year? You guys are planning anything specific, or what's your long-term goal, like 4 or 5 years down the line from today?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think like we probably will stay in pop-ups for the remainder of this year because we think there's still a lot more to do and we think we can at least double our revenue this year through pop-ups. So I think that's probably the plan. And again, just building features that other companies are not going to build because they're too advanced and because they don't have a focus on it, they're not going to build it. So that's like a product point. Go to market side, like I think we can capture some of these bigger fish, like I mentioned, like Target, Best Buy, New Balance, whatever, like these like very large companies, because again, they all use pop-ups, but none of them are really good. Beyond that, I think growing the team a lot, becoming a more like mature CEO that has a large team and that operates as a CEO like of a big time, not a big time CEO, but just like I want to evolve my role and myself as the company needs and not be rigid in my ways, right? Like if the company needs me to act a certain way or be a certain way or do a certain thing, like I'll do it because I understand CEO role changes quickly as you scale.
Now, before we wrap up, I really love this section, which is I call a quick fire round. You just have to name the first thing that comes to your mind. And if you want to elaborate, you can elaborate on that. So what's your favorite Shopify app besides Alia?
I like order editing.
Any particular reason?
I like the team. I like Hamish. He's a friend of mine, and I
Okay.
respect him.
Awesome.
And also Social Snowball. Social Snowball too.
Okay. What's the most underrated channel for growth
I think referrals.
from customers and partners both?
Yeah.
Got it. One thing you would do differently if you're starting Alia today, like as of 6th of Jan, you just thought of this idea and you're going to build this Shopify app around pop-ups. What would be the one thing you would do very differently for the next 90 days?
I would say check my finances a lot closer and be a lot more intentional about budgeting and forecasting.
And one founder ritual or a founder habit you think every app founder must follow?
There's this quote by Naval Ravikant that I like. It says, a calm mind, a fit body, a house full of love. These are things that must be earned and cannot be bought. And I think especially the first two, like doing meditative practices or like mindfulness is important, one. And two, going to the gym and keeping your body in shape and strong leads to better outcomes for everything else in life.
Absolutely, man. Now, Shaan, as we go towards the end of the episode, any last word you would want to talk, maybe to merchants, maybe to other app founders, maybe to agencies out there? Over to you.
I'd say, the world has been around for like 14 billion years before us, and it's going to be around for billions of years after us. Your life is like a blink. Your life is like this short in the whole scheme of the world, right? So like with whatever time you're given, which is a very short amount of time in the world, like do what you want and like enjoy it because you only exist for a very finite amount of time. So I think like enjoy the perils, enjoy the successes, but just do what you want to do because you only have one chance to do it.
Wow, that's really beautiful. I was kind of hoping maybe you would pitch your app, maybe you would promote your app. But yeah, I mean, this is the first time it's happening. Someone is not talking about their app.
Our app is good. Like, I think like when your app is good, you don't need to say too much. Whatever. I could, right? But our app is good. And a lot of people use it. And if you go to our website, you'll see it. Like, you'll see why it's good.
Truly, Shaan, this has been such a solid conversation. I think every founder that's listening to this episode or who will listen to this in future will take away something from your story, right? Bootstrapping from 0 to 8 million is no small feat. It's proof that in Shopify ecosystem, great product still wins. And for everyone listening, if you're a merchant and if you want to level up your pop-up, email and SMS conversions, go check out Alia on the Shopify App Store. I'll drop in the details in the show notes to go and install and download the app. I'll also drop in details to book a call so that you can understand more about Alia and how it can actually help you grow faster. Yeah, Shaan, anything you want to add?
That's great. Yeah, thank you. And if you're a app founder and you ever want advice or anything like that, you follow my Instagram, follow my LinkedIn, or shoot me a DM. And I try to be helpful for what I think are good practices for building companies.
Awesome. And before we sign off, guys, a quick reminder about the SaaS Hub. If you're a Shopify app founder, submit your app at thesashub.com to get vetted and curated and featured as part of our top 10 apps in every category. And if you're a Shopify merchant, if you are looking to negotiate better rates for your existing apps, or if you're considering new apps, do reach out to us. We have a free service available for merchants like you, and also visit our merchant center, which has CRO playbooks, growth tips, and exclusive deals for you. We can also help you find better apps. If you are looking at, for example, if you are a company and using pop-ups, then you already have a great app available for you, which is Alia. So again, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I'm Yuvraj Kevte, and this was another episode for the Shopify App Founders Edition, Season 1. I'll see you next time. Bye.